Okay, I'm just gonna read y'all. That's what I'm about to do. Welcome back. Welcome back. PSA. PSA. This is urgent. This is urgent. The port workers, strikers. The port workers have went on strike today at 12 midnight. You guys need to stock up on food and water and be prepared. Also, you need to have your backpack ready because it's official, it's going down. And I don't know how many of you are actually going to be concerned about this, but I bet you this. Me, I'm not going to be hungry. I bet you that. The massive U.S. port strike has begun. Thousands of dock workers are officially on strike across the East Coast. It could cost the U.S. economy up to $5 billion each day. And not only that, now you got the truckers and you got the railroad workers who are supporting the strike. There will be 100,000 containers just sitting out there at sea. You're not gonna have anything. Thousands of dock workers across the U.S., East Coast, and Gulf Coast are officially on strike after negotiations between their union and an alliance of employers failed. The International Longshoremen's Association represents more than 85,000 workers and has been negotiating with companies, terminal operators, and port associations represented by the United States Maritime Alliance since last May. Without a contract between the groups, as many as 45,000 members are walking off the job at more than a dozen major ports, including facilities in New York and Texas. Longshoremen, people who load and unload cargo at ports on the West Coast, are represented by a different union. I didn't know that, which agreed to a contract last year. The ocean carriers represented by USMX want to enjoy the rich billion-dollar profits that they are making in 2024 while they offer ILA longshore workers an unacceptable wage package that we reject. Woo! Said the president. He rejected that. The, I, the ILA is demanding higher wages and a salary that outpaces inflation, which is cooling after a long, stubborn streak and provides more than a small wage increases included in its last contract. Between 2018 and 2024, employees received a dollar per hour increase to their wages to a maximum of $38 per hour, about $79,000 annually on a 40-hour work week, while new employees start at $20 an hour. They do a lot of work. Y'all better stock up on food and water because I bet you I won't be hungry. I bet you that. Workers are also pushing for protection against automation and new technology devices and terminals. Exact details of union demands for the alliance offers haven't been disclosed. The strike is back. Todd Baysham, the director of Rutgers University Labor Education Action Resource Network, said Monday, pointing to various labor actions taken by the union over the past few years. Unions have always fought to make bad jobs into good jobs, and when those jobs come up under threat, they will fight to save them. USMX has countered that it has provided several offers since discussion began as far as 2022, although negotiations kicked off in earnest in May. On September 26th, the Alliance filed an unfair labor practice charges, and I talked about that in another video. You can go back and watch it. And I don't know what's the problem. Why you come in here, hit the like button. Just hit the like button, please. Like, share, subscribe, send this out, share this. This is important. Share this. Because I don't understand. So they officially also, hold on. Well, let me tell you about your administration. They had time to, they said that they have been working around the clock over the weekend when they had months to come because they can give them 180 days, reprieve and make them touch on that. I won't touch on that real quick. I'm not going to read all this. 5 weeks before the national election, the White House said administration officials had been in touch with both sides and was working around the clock over the weekend to avert the strike. The shippers and operators, let me see, no, I'm not going to read that. A prolonged strike could lead to shortages in retail stores, price increases, and even a short one would snarl the supply chains that link the United States to the rest of the world. That means no medications. You need to stock up on your medications. I've been doing it because guess what? Most of 90% of your medications is made in China. We don't make anything here. If you're sickly, you need to have your medication. You need to stock up on it. Mm. With no signs of progress between the International Longshoremen's Association and Maritime Alliance, business have been preparing for months in case of a strike. But analysts say the economic impact of a shutdown will be impossible to avoid. And now you have your truckers and your railroad workers supporting them. Nothing is going to move. Nothing. The truckers ain't going to deliver nothing. The ships are going to stay anchored in the ocean, in the sea, in the river, wherever they at. They not going to drop nothing off. And the truckers is not going to pick it up. We don't anticipate shortages of essential goods anytime soon. That's BS. People do not need to rush out to the grocery store and stockpile goods like they did during the pandemic. That well, you probably got enough for. I bet you I'm gonna have all my stuff this week. I don't know about y'all. I bet you I'm gonna have mine. Like I just said, your medicine stockpiles of pharmaceuticals, which mostly arrive by air freight and food products. They're talking about New York should enable New Yorkers to ride out weeks-long shipping interruption, and that's a lie. Because when the truckers was gonna strike from going to New York only has 3 days supply that's in the stores. So if you in New York, you really messed up. Now this is where it gets tricky. The first tangible sign of impeding labor action, which was expected after midnight, around 100,000 shipping containers will be stranded on the dock for the duration of the strike. They said 100,000. That's perishables, that's furniture, that's auto parts, that's medicine. 100,000 containers will be stranded. You better pay these people what they deserve. Almost three dozen, almost 3 dozen cargo carriers selling toward New York are expected to arrive over the next week and will remain at anchors until the strike is lifted. That means they're gonna stay in the water. They are not going to land, according to Rick Cotton, executive director of Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. The White House, the decrepit White House, dementia White House, has urged the two sides to continue bargaining in good faith and says a supply chain task force is ready to help minimize the impact. Well, they officially on strike now, right before the election. Oh, because Biden has, he can rule, he can seek to block the walkout by invoking the Taft-Hartley Act, which has not been enacted since 1977. That was the last port worker strike. And if they invoke the Taft-Hartley Act, it would impose an 80-day cooling off period for negotiations where they have to go back and work. But officials have consistently said the president does not plan to use his legal powers to try to force the parties to talk and end a strike, strengthening the union's position. Ooh, things about to get rough. They about to get rough. I'm gonna end it like that. Let me see. Oh, let me check. Let me see what's on. Let me see what's on YouTube real quick. I'm about to get off of here. I gotta go to sleep. Cause I ain't gonna be hungry like I keep saying. I don't know about y'all. I got some friends. They ain't gonna be hungry neither. Let me see. Here we go. Here it is. Bam.
Listen, it might take much longer for you to get the products you want because next week a potential labor strike at East and Gulf Coast ports could leave ships filled with billions of dollars worth of goods stranded. Back in June, talks stalled between the union representing dock workers, that's the International Longshoremen Association, and the group representing their employers in the United States Maritime Alliance. And that means more than 45,000 workers at 36 different ports across the East and Gulf Coasts might walk off the job next Tuesday.
They walk.
60%
They walk.
of shipping traffic goes through these ports, so the expected economic impact from a strike could be significant. Consider what a week-long East and Gulf Coast strike could do. It could reduce the national gross domestic product by 4.5 to 7.5 billion dollars. However, analysts stress that the lost GDP would mostly be recovered once ports clear shipping backlogs. Still, that could take until next year to do so. The economic impact will also be large because each port is crucial to the national economy. Take a look at this. Down in Norfolk, Virginia, if that port closes, the expected economic impact would be as much as $600 million per day. That's according to analysis by the
Per day.
Houston's port faces costs of $91.5 million per day in imports and exports. Since these goods could remain stuck at sea during the potential strike, some manufacturers are sending their goods to the West Coast. Already, August was the busiest month for the Port of Los Angeles since the pandemic, and it was the busiest month in the 113-year history of its neighboring port down in Long Beach.
That came out. Oh, let me see. Oh, this came out 9 minutes ago.
All right, welcome back in Live Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Here's the breaking news of the evening. We're taking a live look at.
Oh, look at them. Look at them. They on strike, baby. They out there. Ooh, they out there. Y'all better stock up.
From Maine to Texas,
oh, they out there.
Maine to Texas began walking picket lines early Tuesday, and a strike over wages and automation that could reignite
Lord help us.
And cause shortages of goods if it goes on more than a few weeks. Maritime analyst Sal Mercogliano is joining us. Sal, thanks for hopping on at this late hour. This is something that you were speaking with us about earlier on in the evening, and now it's official. What do you make of it? Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew the ILA was going to go out on strike. We saw some last-minute negotiations happening between them. The U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents the shipping companies, the terminals, and some of the other port agents, were able to put a proposal together that looked really good. I mean, they came up from their initial offer up to 50% pay wages, increases over 6 years, talked about tripling the amount of money provided for retirement and also more healthcare. However, the ILA has been adamant that they really wanted this strike. They want to raise issues regarding the absolute amount of money that the
If
shipping
you want
companies
to
have
come
made.
up, you can
The
come up,
7
hit the
shipping
link.
companies that are on the United States Maritime Alliance board are all foreign-owned, including one from the Chinese government, Chinese Overseas Shipping Company. And ILA wants to raise this issue, and they're doing it now. They want to get in the news cycle. Why is this?
If you want to come up, hit the link.
On the East Coast, or are those the only ones that are affiliated with the ILA? Yeah, it's East and Gulf Coast. So we got ports all the way from Boston down to Houston that are going to be impacted. On the West Coast, you have the ILWU, which we had that strike, and not a strike, but a labor negotiation with the Pacific Maritime Association. And here on the East and Gulf Coast, the ILA represents these workers. And we saw that not only is the ILA out on strike, but they got a sympathetic letter from the Teamsters Union coming out. And so what we're going to see right now is ships that are in the ports are stuck there. They won't be able to leave. This is going to impact mainly container ships and car carriers. Oil tankers, cruise lines should not be impacted by this. Is there any indicators out there?
Stock up on food and water. It's official. They are on strike. If you want to come up, hit the link. If you have anything you want to say or add about it. But this is serious. This is serious. This just the beginning of the woes as God judges America. This just the beginning. It's just starting.
To suggest how long this may take, how much room is there between the two sides right now? Well, the negotiations at the last minute were very helpful. The big issue had been that both sides weren't at the table. They were basically negotiating through press conferences and press releases. I think hopefully what we'll see is maybe toward the end of the week that both sides will come together. One of the big hindrances here is the Biden administration's hands-off approach. They've announced that they're not going to intercede.
The Biden hands-off approach. Why? Because if you look at one of my previous videos, oh my God, I can't even think about, oh Lord, the strategy, the pivot, oh shit, I forgot what it was. No, the pivot strategy that they use is to create chaos, to just like the migrant crisis, to disrupt and create so much chaos that the people will begin to riot and protest, and then they come with the solution. That's why they hands off. This has been a democratic strategy since 1966. Look at that video and learn you something today.
Really will not take a hands-on approach. The president himself came out and said there is no chance of him invoking Taft-Hartley, which would.
StreamYard, you messing up. You messing up, StreamYard. This is important.
States, and this has not just implications in the United States trade, but global trade. We're looking at these live images from Elizabeth, New Jersey tonight. We understand that there's similar images coming in from major cities across the East and Gulf Coasts. So now let's talk about the spectrum of situations and scenarios we could see play out over the coming days and weeks. Let's say this thing lasts 24 hours. What could that do to the supply chain versus what it could do if we're talking about a weeks-long strike? Well, I think one of the things the viewers need to take away is there's not going to be shortages on the shelves. I mean, that's something they need to be alleviated from.
BS.
We're not going to see immediate shortfalls.
Not immediate.
What we're talking about is if this is a day, a short time period, it's going to take
about a week to reset the supply chain to get caught back up. What you're going to see is will not see anything appreciable happen in their consumption in the consumer goods. Where it starts to impact, if it starts going on a little bit longer than a day or two, or goes into a week or two, then manufacturing, a lot of businesses, one of the biggest importers, Walmart, the box stores, will start coming up, sitting either in warehouses or in the stores.
You know, it was what? Oh, and it looks like the battery level is low on that feed. That sometimes does happen with these live images. So what I'll ask you, though, is it's been, what, 3-4 years since the supply chain was top of mind in the news cycle. We talked so much about it during COVID. Could the potential impacts of this type of strike feel similar to what we felt 3-4 years ago?
I think one of the things we've seen continually is strains on the supply chain system. I mean, we've seen hits, whether it was the COVID supply chain system, it was Ever Given in the Suez, it was the Houthi now diverting vessels around the Red Sea.
You know what? Here we go, 56 minutes.
Rustling Port of Virginia came to a
This
screeching halt
Virginia.
today. They shut down
That was
operations this afternoon in anticipation of a pending strike.
this
The port's
Virginia.
contract with dock workers expires at midnight. Workers tells 10 on Your Side's Andy Fox what they're seeking in negotiations. Andy?
Yeah, Lena, the two big things. They want higher wages and they want protection from automation. Automation that takes jobs away from members of the ILA. Now, I drove my car down here to where you can see those containers down there, along with the cranes. And I'm telling you, it's a ghost town here. There is no one here. You see no one. Everyone waiting for what might happen tonight at midnight. Down at the Virginia International Gateway Port, we found international longshoremen like Roderick Riddick, ILA member, confident of a strike. Do you think that at 12 midnight, you guys are going to go on strike? Or do you think there's going to be some 11th hour miracle?
Right now, what we're told, at 12 o'clock, we're going to strike. That's what we're told right now.
Riddick, one of tens of thousands of ILA members, and over 30 ports impacted by a strike.
Well, hopefully, I'm thinking that it'll be good for us so we can get our benefits and everything straight. That's our more important thing that we're trying to get.
Riddick, concerned about wages.
And our wages.
That's 7 hours. I need to be looking at. That was an hour ago. We need to see what's happening in these last hour that they went on strike. Oh, this 5 minutes ago. This 5 minutes
It
ago.
might take much longer for you to get the products you want because next week a potential labor strike at East and Gulf Coast is stranded. Back in June, talks stalled between the union representing dock workers.
Oh no, not that one. No, we don't want that. We need the last hour. Nine hours. No, I need the last few minutes. Let me see. Oh, here we go. An hour ago. Where's this one? Oh, this in Houston. Let's see how Houston looking. Let's look and see how Houston doing down there.
This includes the Port of Houston and 36 other ports along the Gulf and up the East Coast, all the way to Maine. Now, just hours ago, we learned that both sides have moved from their previous positions and at least exchanged wage offers. A glimmer of hope, perhaps, but still, at this hour, no deal. So here's what's happening. The International Longshoremen's Association represents 45,000 dock workers, and the U.S. Maritime Alliance represents shippers and ports. The contract between the two sides will expire in less than 3 hours, and dock workers are ready to walk off the job. At issue, pay increases and automation. Dock workers are concerned foreign companies that operate the marine terminals are seeking to replace them. Machine funds us can't take them work through that backlog of a 1 week felt into next year, and the ports coming to a the impacts to consumers.
Anthony, this deadline is creeping up, and this strike, it is historic. And depending on how long it does go on, we could feel impacts in multiple different places: the grocery stores, retail, and ultimately our wallets. 45,000 dock workers from Maine down to Houston plan to walk off the docks, halting container imports and exports. A historic strike, the magnitude some experts have never seen.
Never in my life. In my mind, the only thing closest to this was COVID, and really, COVID didn't close down the world's ports.
The impact on the U.S. economy could be huge.
You know, for every day, anything from 500 million to a couple of billion, but that's direct impact. I mean, how do you measure the indirect impact?
But what does it mean for you?
I think the immediate effect will be minimal. The issue is if this becomes a prolonged work stoppage. And if that's the case, you'll have inflationary pressure. I mean, it's basic supply and demand.
The ships affected are container ships, so they don't carry gas.
This won't have any impact on the petrochemical industry or any of that.
But they do carry a lot of the things that you use at home.
All kinds of retail goods, appliances, construction materials, and food. And so I see in Central and South America.
So we could see a shortage on fruits and vegetables, a shortage on imported beers, wines, and cheeses, and possible inflation effects, as well as possible shipping delays.
You know, I think domestic.
And also higher prices. You know everything about to go sky high. Higher prices, price gouging. You know you know how our other brethren do once they raise the prices. It's gonna be higher gas, higher inflation, higher everything.
Service probably isn't going to be impacted, but if you're ordering something online and it hasn't been shipped from China or Europe or India, the chances of it being delayed are quite high.
And of course, all of these domino effects, they depend on if this strike happens tonight and how long it lasts.
And they said this an hour ago, so they just now putting. Now this Houston again, but this only 3 minutes. I want to hear what he got to say.
We are just an hour away from a potential strike that would halt operations at 14 major ports from Houston to Maine.
The dock workers are threatening to walk off the job, and tonight experts are warning if that happens, the nation's supply chain could feel the impact. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry is live at Port Houston tonight with the uncertainty that's looming this evening. Bryce.
Yeah, Keith and Daniela, port officials tonight tell me they are preparing for possible picketing. That's if this agreement isn't reached,
where we can guarantee
impacted.
I want to hear what this man's saying.
Longwood Forks flatbed truck is empty and ready to haul its next load. But tonight, with a looming strike, he's not sure if he'll have work in the morning.
That's one of the main avenues where we can guarantee work from.
Small trucking business is usually hauling aluminum and solar panels from Port Houston, where thousands of dock workers are threatening to walk out over concerns about pay and automation that union leaders say would affect jobs.
It's like having a guaranteed job stop on you, and then you have to figure it all out with what you have. It is mind-boggling.
The strike, which would be a first since 1977, would shut.
Let me see what's in. Let me see what's in the papers. Last 20 minutes. And I'm about to get off of here. I gotta go to bed. 23 minutes ago. It's 23 minutes ago. 16 minutes ago. Oh, this CBS. Let me see what they saying. So the ports that's on strike are Baltimore, Boston, Charleston, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, Miami, Houston, Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, New York, New Jersey, Norfolk, Virginia, Philadelphia, Savannah, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, and Wilmington, Delaware. They ain't saying nothing. Let me see. This one, 20, what they saying? Oh, before I do that, this is how we gonna end with what the union president said. That man ain't playing and he not budging. Hey, president. This is him 13 hours ago.
Well, now to that strike threat that could impact busy locations. It could see picket.
But let me give you some numbers to chew on. One, items from 5 days to get.
Why not?
Oh, here go y'all decrepit president. This is what he said.
And they also want job protection from automated technology. This would be a 6-year contract that they're trying to negotiate.
This is all by design. The elites want us little people gone so they can live. That is a fact into life. It is planned. Everything is planned. There is no coincidences. But here go the decrepit president.
Right now, he has declined.
I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them.
Union reps say this is all happening because, quote, the United States Maritime Alliance refuses to address a half-century of wage subjugation where ocean carrier profits skyrocketed from millions to mega billion dollars, while ILA longshore wages remained flat. Now, coming back out to you live, I can tell you.
That guy who said, I'll cripple it, I'll shut it down, that's the president. I want to get his whole, and you see that the decrepit president said he not intervening on nothing, and this right before the election. Y'all gotta really think about this. What is your prediction? Is it going to be like when? Yes, it's going to be worse. Actually, I believe it'll be worse, depending on how long the strike is. But if you want to come up, hit that link up there, you could come up. But yeah, I believe it's going to be worse because you have a lot of people, when they really do wake up and they realize that they need basic essentials, it's going to be gone. I'm not going to be hungry. I'm getting all my stuff this week, starting tomorrow. And I have friends that already went today, and I can go to their house if I get hungry. But I'm just saying.
Well, now to that strike threat.
I want to get back to this.
Costs upwards of $500 million a day. Now we know the impact is far-reaching if this strike goes into effect, and it will hit major retailers like Home Depot, IKEA, and Walmart.
I want y'all to hear this president because I'm about to get on. Oh, you know what? I'm going to end with this one. Here we go. What can we expect?
I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them.
This administration needs to get to the table and broker a deal right now.
So we are about 24 hours away from witnessing the largest port strike. 45,000 dock workers, more 3 dozen ports across the East Coast and Gulf Coast, and negotiations look like they're still at a standstill. So I thought it would be a really good idea to try and break down what's going on, what are their demands, and what we can expect in the trucking industry as a fallout from this potential strike. So let's get into it. So I heard in detail the 17-minute interview with Harold J. Daggett. Now, who is he? He is the president of the ILA, the International Longshoremen Association. And I'm kind of...
Ooh, time out. This world is going too fast for us. Machines got to stop. Yes, we're getting smart kids out of MIT, all these places. Yeah, they're all brilliant. But what good is it if you're going to put people out of work? Who's going to support their families? Machines? Machines don't have families. You got to draw the line. These companies that work in the maritime business come from overseas. Now one of them belongs to America. They want to come into America and build fully automated terminals and get rid of American jobs. Good paying jobs that support families with medical, pensions, annuities, and pay taxes. They want to get rid of them. Where's the president of the United States? He's not fighting for us. He told in LA, he told the union, hurry up and get a contract. That's the mentality they have. They don't even know what the hell they're doing today. Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to save everybody's job when it comes to the ILA and to all the unions around the world, because we're going to fight with that alliance. I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them. That's why I fight. I fight for jurisdiction. I fight for safety. I fight for these to be compensated with good salaries. These companies are making billions of dollars. They should take us along. We brought them to where they are. Now they want to get rid of us? That's not fair. Not fair at all. And this union's been around close to 200 years. So you can see why I'm always fighting.
So we need to understand the magnitude of this.
Now, I just want to replay what he just said.
Now water belongs to America.
I think that's a replay right here, what he said.
Goes out, goes in. They don't want anybody. They don't want to pay anybody.
For these longshoremen, the what? So I heard in detail.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me get. I want to play that one last time before I get out of here.
And I've kind of taken snippets on.
To all who might see this before the end of the live stream, the Dems need a situation just like the boost their support, and unions have all back there. That's the fact into life. That's a fact.
A lot of money, right? Billions. I've been fighting automation for years. They destroyed LA.
This the president.
The automated terminal, yeah, Maersk Line. 800 longshoremen lost their jobs. If it was up to them, they would like to see everybody lose their jobs. Let me tell you, it's not just in the longshore. They got ships in Europe that they're building. They got one out, run on a battery, container ship, no crew. Somebody in an office building runs it. Goes out, goes in. They don't want anybody.
Wow.
It's not only this union, it's in every union in every aspect. If they keep putting machinery to take our jobs, who's going to pay the income tax? Machines are not. Who's going to pay for the military, the roads, everything runs by taxes. Someone has to get into Congress and say, whoa, time out. This world is going too fast for us. Machines got to stop. Yes, we're getting smart kids out of MIT and all these places. Yeah, they're all brilliant. But what good is it if you're going to put people out of work? Who's going to support their families? Machines? Machines don't have families. You got to draw the line. These companies that work in the maritime business come from overseas. Not one of them belongs to America. They want to come into America and build fully automated terminals and get rid of American jobs.
Facts.
Paying jobs.
Facts.
Support families with medical, pensions, annuities, and pay taxes. They want to get rid of them. Where's the president of the United States? He's not fighting for us. He told in LA, he told the union, hurry up and get a contract. That's the mentality they have. They don't even know what the hell they're doing today. Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to save everybody's job when it comes to the ILA and to all the unions around the world, because we're going to fight with that alliance. I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them. That's why I fight. I fight for jurisdiction. I fight for safety. I fight for these to be compensated with good salaries. These companies are making billions of dollars. They should take us along. We brought them to where they are. Now they want to get rid of us? That's not fair. Not fair at all.
You say, will this actually shut down the country more stimulus? No.
Here we go. Tens of
Listen, you got a situation, they ain't did nothing for black folk. And one of them already said who running that she not gonna do nothing for black folk. Ain't gonna be no more stimulus checks, not at all. But yeah, it will shut down the country because guess what? If you can't buy, you need to get out there and you need to get you some food and some water and stock up because you don't know how long this strike is. They have 100,000 containers that is going to sit there right now, as I went over earlier, that's going to sit there until after the strike. You have ships that are not going to land, that are going to stay in the sea, the ocean, the river, the lake. They're not going to dock until the strike is over. They can't move everything on the West Coast. Went to Costco today and all the water was gone. What Costco you go to? This is what I'm saying. So they getting it by the cases. A friend of mine just said, I don't know if you heard her, she said they were getting 8, 9, 10 cases today. This is what I'm saying. Well, I'm gonna be getting mine this week. I already got 4 cases, but I'm gonna get another 5 at least. Oh, in South Carolina. Oh, you in South Carolina. Oh, well, see, y'all done got hit. Then y'all done got hit by the hurricane. Y'all flooding in South Carolina. Because Florida is out of everything right now preparing for the hurricane. So Florida is going to be hit because ain't nothing going to come up in there. This is the hand on your those and least loud way to you. Go in to create chaos as they can't, try they can't where the people there riot and protest. They're gonna come to a solution. This is what it's all about. It's called pawns in the game, and we the pawns. It's time to wake up. But this is PSA. Like, share, subscribe. Get this video out. Share it. Please like it. I don't understand what's the problem with hitting the like button. When I go in people's videos, first thing I do is hit the like button. Get this message out. Just let people know that they need to stock up, get what they can, and just in case, if it only lasts a day or two, cool. But what if it lasts for weeks? Then what you gonna do? I know one thing, I ain't gonna be hungry. That's not gonna happen. And my family is not gonna be hungry, period. And the government's plan is playing out. It is into life. I totally agree. I totally agree. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Hit the like button. All right. See y'all later. Share the video.